Hello and welcome to NavTalk. NavTalk is proudly brought to you by the Navwealth Financial Group, helping you reach your destination in life on purpose. My name is Simon Prowse and I'll be your regular host for this series of podcasts. And I look forward to bringing you interviews and content on a broad range of topics. Topics that will be educational, inspirational, informative and at times fun. Welcome to NavTalk. As a sort of a break from the tradition today, I have the great fortune of interviewing Ben Mellen of Benofit. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Simon.
Now, Ben's a personal trainer, and I happen to be lucky enough to be visiting Ben in his office. And what an office it is, Ben. How's this?
I feel pretty fortunate, I must say, to be in the great outdoors.
Yeah.
Looking after my amazing loyal clients in the sunshine.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm at, just for the listeners, I'm at Rawson Reserve, is it?
Rawson Park, yeah.
Rawson Park in Mossman. And how did you end up here at Rawson? Tell us a bit about that for your experience.
Well, I was a personal trainer in a big gym franchise for a long time. And then when COVID hit and all the gyms were forced to close, all of the trainers in those gyms had to make it work. So I moved outdoors. Once I moved outdoors and realised that my clients actually really liked it, and of course there was no option to go back into the gym at that point during some of those lockdowns, but when I realised that my clients actually really liked being outside, I thought I can make this work, and I was paying a franchise fee at the gym, like a rent for, I guess, and so it was nice just to not have that overhead when I knew I could make it work outdoors. So that's what's brought me out here.
And in terms of making it work, you go to a gym and there's equipment everywhere and you've got all the facilities. How have you sort of adapted to that?
Well, I drive a van. I drive a Volkswagen multivan, which was supposed to be for my wife and 3 kids, but then I had to rip her and some friends if the kids wanted a play date or something. But I had to rip a row of seats out of the multivan, and then I've just filled the back of it with pretty much everything that I can to replicate any exercise that can be done in the gym. So, so it's worked. So I laid out a little bit of money, or outlaid a little bit of money, and I now can create an outdoor gym, which, as I said, can do anything that can be done in the gym.
So it works really well.
Works great.
Yeah,
it works really well.
But tell me, you're not alone in this fitness world, and it seems to be the flavour, personal training. Are you finding that a lot of the trainers are staying outdoors, or is it where's that heading? Where's the industry heading, you think?
Yes, certainly they are. At the gym that I worked at, we had, at the start of COVID, I think we had maybe 25 trainers there.
Wow.
And I think about 10 of them have done what I've done, right, and have either gone outdoors at a local park, or maybe they're training their clients out of their garage at home, but certainly not gone. And most of them have gone to a local park, but certainly not gone back to the gym. Yeah.
And is that? Have you found that a liberating experience, or do you miss those 4 walls?
I do. I mean, it's a good question. I've worked in just a bit of brief background on my career. I started out in the fitness industry in 1998. I started working in a little gym, and actually I graduated from uni in 1998. I started working in a gym, which also the owner of the gym actually wanted me to do a few shifts at a school as well. So I was sort of working in the gym at a school. This is in 1998. And then I was doing a few shifts at this gym. So I've worked in a gym, and then on that, I worked there for 3 years. Then I left there and went backpacking for 6 months, and then got home from backpacking and started working in a gym. So I've worked in a gym really since 1998, and I do love a gym. I genuinely love a gym. I love the atmosphere that a gym creates. I love, the members not just members or not just clients of mine, but you really build a community in a gym of people that you speak to on a regular basis. Obviously, your clients. So I do miss a gym, but I'm surprisingly I'm finding that being outdoors is also great. Not just because I don't have to pay the gym rent anymore, but there's a community that I've built out at the park as well. People walk past with their dogs every day, and the same faces come past me every day. Yep. And I've definitely found that you don't need to be in the gym to create your business. Because I probably get 100 people walk past me in a space of a couple of hours here at the park, and you say good morning to them. Don't try and do the hard sell, but you say good morning to them, and next thing you know, you build up a bit of a rapport with these people, so you sort of build that community just by being in the same spot. I've definitely enjoyed the transition and very happy that I've done it.
Yeah, so the grasses are a bit greener, but at the
same
time, it's fantastic.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what a life it is in terms of being outdoors and getting that fresh air and all the good endorphins that come with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll dive into that in a second. You sort of mentioned while you were talking then about your first job out of uni, and I think you mentioned, well, you might have mentioned, but I know you went to ACPE, which is a sort of a sporting type environment.
Yes, that's right. So that gained me a Bachelor of Education in Physical Education.
Yeah, right.
So you come out of there as a qualified physical education teacher, but that opens up a lot of pathways. Yeah. Certainly doing 3 years of biology and biomechanics and anatomy and physiology. You learn so much about the human body, and that was a really good beginning for me into the fitness industry. I never had a huge desire to be a PE teacher, I don't think, but certainly a great degree to have, and certainly put me in good stead to start my career in the fitness industry.
Take a couple of steps back from that, and in our brief you sort of mentioned that in about year 9 you sort of had this calling, if you like, to not be an office-bound person.
Yeah.
Was that not teaching? That was more to be a sort of a PT?
Yeah, absolutely it was. I think personal training became a thing, or certainly I noticed that it became a thing in that early 90s period. Something maybe more for the rich and famous, movie stars getting prepared for a movie, for example, or wealthier people wanting to get fit and willing to pay for it. So that's when I noticed that I could make a career out of personal training. And that was in 1992. So I was in year 9. 15 years of age, and I realised that was something I could see myself doing.
Most of us are thinking about girls and going out and being.
Oh, look, that happened. No doubt, that certainly happened. It's funny. It really is funny. I speak to people about that sometimes, and they're sort of amazed that I had that in my head at such a young age that that's all I wanted to do. A lot of my mates from school have gone on to different careers, but this is the one I chose, so very happy with it.
And they always say, and forgive me, audience, there's a plane going over, but they always say if you do something you love, you're going to be good at it. Is that probably the way you'd put it for yourself?
I think so. Yeah. I like to think I'm fairly good at what I do. Certainly based off 20 odd years of experience now, I think I've got pretty good understanding about the industry and personal training in general. But for me, I don't really. It's almost like I don't really consider it a job. I don't think of what I do as being work. I wake up in the morning and at 4:30 in the morning.
Well, that's early.
Yes, it is early, but I still jump out of bed. After all these years, I still really enjoy coming to see my clients and helping them achieve their goals. It's something that I throughout the whole time of doing what I do, I've just thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't really treat it as work. I don't think of it as being work as such. It's it is something I genuinely do love.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. If you do love it, it kind of makes it easy to get up.
But, absolutely.
It must be hard at 4:30 on some winter's morning.
Yeah,
going
it does. It does. Those, especially with the weather we've had this year. Where it's been bucketing down rain and the alarm goes up at 4:30 and you can just hear the rain on the roof. It's it has its challenges, and that certainly has been one of the challenges about working outdoors. Is the weather this year has been hard, but I think. My clients have realised that you don't need a huge space, you don't need a gym, you don't need a big undercover space to have a great workout. So it's work. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your clients and the way you operate. Like you're getting up early. I dare say that most of your clients have got sort of 9 to 5 type arrangements, and they're in the office. So you're meeting them early. How does that all work? Yeah,
so I start work at 5:30. Most of my sessions are hour-long sessions. Excuse me. So the busy period certainly is before work, and then I've got a few clients. If you talk about my schedule, I basically work from 5:30 till about 2:30 in the afternoon, every day, or 5 days a week, and I've got a very, very compassionate wife to my job, and so she looks after the kids in the morning, and I pick the kids up in the afternoon from school, so that works out well. That's sort of how it works. 45-minute to hour sessions, and it just sort of do them back to back here in the park, and that's it. Day's done.
And are they one to many, or are you more a one-on-one style approach in your work? Yeah,
probably 50-50, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Other sessions are buddy sessions, like two clients. 4 clients I can train at a time. I've got some corporate groups where I have up to 20 people in a session as well.
Wow.
Which is nice to have that variety in the day.
Yeah. And your day's pretty full. You say you're 5 days a week. Is that pretty full?
Yeah. I mean, you can certainly squeeze a person in here and there, but generally speaking, always on the lookout for new clients but generally my day is pretty full. Yeah.
So your clients are now not going to a gym where they've been going to a gym for many years, and these are clients that are used to working in an office environment. How have you found that change from their point of view, as in the outdoors? How have they found that?
Really, very interesting actually. When COVID did hit and we were forced to come outdoors because of the gyms were closed, I certainly didn't have an expectation that I was going to be out here, that I was going to have completely flip my business upside down and work outdoors. Even after a couple of weeks, a month or so after being outdoors, I was still thinking I'd go back to the gym. But the more feedback I got from my clients, they realised that, lying on a bench, looking up at the clear blue sky, was really appealing to them. They spend so much time in their office. They spend obviously time at home. They spend time in the gym, and they never get a chance to actually look up at the blue sky or hear birds chirp, or doing a deadlift overlooking a beautiful white picket fence oval. It's just not something that they're used to doing. And so when that was gifted upon us with COVID, it really made my clients see that there are options out there. You don't have to be in a gym. There's the beautiful, great outdoors that is a really beautiful and great place to train, getting fresh air, no stinky people in the gym, and what's not to love.
So you're getting a body workout and arguably a bit of a mind workout.
Yeah.
Mental health. Would you say that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think gyms, as I said, I love a gym. Gyms are a great place to exercise, great place to socialise. They're a big part of people's lives. But they can be stressful. If you've had a hard day at work, a big long day at work, and you just want to come to the gym to de-stress, and someone's sitting on the leg press for 20 minutes and that's the exercise that you have next on your program. You can sort of see why there can be an element of stress about going to a gym. One thing that my clients obviously don't have to deal with when they're outdoors with me is that they don't have to wait for any equipment. It's just all there, and I just take them through the workout. It's all there right in front of them, and away we go.
And tell me about your typical clientele. You'd think the younger ones would be more attracted to the gym for the social side of it. Are you finding that? And are you clientele more the older Australians? I'm probably pigeonholing it a bit. Anyway.
I've sort of grown old with a lot of my clients. Not that I'm old, and nor are they. But I've been very fortunate in that most of my clients have had for at least 10 years. So we've sort of, gone through the journey of their health and exercise regime together for up to 20 years. I've had some clients who've had for 20 years. So
wow,
yeah,
wow.
And sorry to answer your question, they're mid 40s to mid 60s, men and women who I train. Yeah, so
knowing your anatomy and physiology, this part of training and what we're doing in the 40s to 60s is pretty vital.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're not 20-year-old supple people anymore. I think as you get older, you certainly start getting tighter. Your muscles start to atrophy. So by atrophying, I mean you start to lose lean muscle tissue. So yeah, we're not young anymore. Our bodies do tighten up and stiffen up, and just generally with the lifestyle that the majority or the people lead, sitting in an office chair all day, being on a laptop all day, posturally, it's a really bad place to be. So yeah, that's sort of what I help with a lot of my clients is mostly rehabilitation or preventative maintenance to try and make sure that they don't come across these issues that can be caused by their day-to-day life.
So your session might involve more stretching and tailoring of exercise rather than running around the block at lightning speed and
certainly
your heart rate through the roof.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my sessions are based around, giving people the ability to be able to function better, function in their everyday life, try and get through life pain-free, still do heavy weights and still do light weights, still do lots of weights. Most of my sessions are based around resistance training, but I'm not making people do hard sprints or heavy deadlifts unless their body allows them to do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's sort of a functional workout that sort of gets them ready for the office, gets their mental attitude right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clears the head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Allows them to get on with the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, fantastic.
Certainly, speaking of getting their head ready for the day, it's one great thing about being outdoors, as well as doing any exercise. It can be in the gym, it can be outdoors, but that release of serotonin, the release of dopamine, those neurotransmitters, it certainly puts people in a great frame of mind for the rest of the day. A really good workout can sort of boost your mood for the rest of the day. So it's talking about people getting in the right mental space, exercise is a great way to achieve that.
Yeah, I assume you're getting that feedback from your clientele too, is the days they don't do the workout or they can't make it.
Exactly.
Telling you a crappy day or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I would say 99.9% of my sessions, the client leaves feeling better than what they did when they arrived. So it's a great result every time.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, let me take you back to you and your journey and this PT. And for anyone out there who's contemplating this as a career,
How have you found that process? We talked about the fact that you love it,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not work.
Yeah.
In terms of making a career out of it, how have you found that with your family and where you live and all?
It has its challenges. Getting up at 4:30 every morning is a challenge to the family. Certainly to my wife, Kate, getting 3 kids ready for school, having hours that are a little bit different to the regular, as you say, 9 to 5 job. It certainly has its challenges, but we've overcome that, which is good. I've certainly tailored my hours to suit the family more. As I said, Kate does the morning school, I do the afternoon school pickup.
And Kate has a full-time job?
She's got a full-time job. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So she's got a really busy work schedule as well. So that works really well. Certainly for someone who maybe is wanting to get into the fitness industry or get into the personal training career, you've got to get used to those more obscure hours.
What about the qualifications and the training? I mean, you did ACPE. You came out as a physical education teacher, if you like, or is it a dip ed that you got?
Dip ed and Bachelor of Education. Yeah,
right. Was that enough, or have you got to actually take further qualification?
You do have to, yeah. So there's a Certificate 3 in fitness, allows you to be able to work in a gym and write programs for people.
Right.
Certificate 4 is a necessary qualification to be a personal trainer.
Yeah. And is that focusing on the training side, or is this the anatomy and physiology type approach?
It's more on the training side.
Yeah,
they do touch on anatomy and physiology, but it's more around the training side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And financially, has it been okay? Like, does it work for you? I mean, you've been at it a while, so you've got a good following.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, it's not the highest of paying careers, I would say. There's certainly other industries that pay higher, but I think personal training, I think the fitness industry has come a long way in the last 30 years. And it is a job where there's only so many hours in a day, so you've sort of got to maximise your hour. And you do that by having more people in the group. As I mentioned before, I've got a handful of corporate sessions a week. So by maximising the hour, it certainly makes it, financially a good job for sure.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
great. So I'm looking at you, Ben. You're an extremely fit-looking individual yourself.
That's very kind of you to say, Simon.
Are you finding it because you are a PT? One, you're working out with your clientele.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But it allows you to stay fit in mind and body as well.
For sure. I mean, I've got to practice what I preach, right? Like, I think I'd be fraudulent if I didn't do something with my body. But I'm a very passionate cyclist, always have been, so that keeps me fit from a cardiovascular perspective. But I do make sure I do some really good strength training as well. Probably 3 or 4 times a week I do some strength training just to keep the body strong, keep the bone density in good shape.
Far better than most, I'd say, that 3 or 4 times a week.
Well, maybe. But, I think that it's important that I look the part. I guess my body is a billboard. You could probably say that if I wasn't looking fit, then why would someone come and train with me?
Well, if you stand next to that car of yours, it's got Benofit written on it, which is, the perfect segue to Ben and
That's right.
fitness.
That's right.
So you've got to look pretty fit standing next to that vehicle, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm wearing a puffy jacket at the moment, which might hide something, but no, I certainly try and, as I said, practice what I preach and look the part.
How do you get time to do cycling? I've always found the cyclists, they go off for 4 or 5 hours. I mean, you're talking about finishing the day at 2. The kids are going to be around, at 3:30?
Yes.
So you just sort of do it in the middle of the night?
It's a really good question. The inevitable reality of my business is that I will have some cancellations. Yeah. People travel for work. People are now starting to travel for holidays. people fall sick and they're not able to train. So that's when I use that. I use those opportunities to get out and do my own exercise. I don't actually set time aside for my own exercise, but the inevitable happens and clients do cancel. So that's when I try and get my own exercise in.
So the bike's in the car.
The bike is in the car right now.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
This has been a fantastic chat, and I've really enjoyed the fact that we're outdoors. It's been good for me. I'm seeing the blue sky as well.
It's great. Yeah, absolutely. We'll put you in a good mood for us this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've got to go back to the office though. But in terms of a takeaway and probably your parting sort of message to everyone out there, what would that be? Like, is it something you can say you've got to do this, or what would that be to any client or people out there about personal training?
Well, certainly that, I think. It's really important, regardless of age, to get into some sort of exercise routine and make it a particular time in the week. It doesn't have to be every day. It can be every day, but it can be 3 times a week as well. But put it in your diary and make it like prioritize exercise in your week because it has to be done. It really has to be done. You know, the benefits of strength training, the benefits, now we're using my business name, the benefits of strength training, the benefits of cardiovascular exercise to any degree. It doesn't have to be, as you mentioned before, it doesn't have to be sprints across the oval. It can be a walk. The benefits of a walk alone are amazing. It doesn't have to be heavy strength training. As long as you're doing something that improves your cardiovascular capabilities, improves your strength, which is going to improve bone density, connective tissue strength, so ligament, tendon strength, muscular strength. But also, as we mentioned before, just about the preservation of your body and the functionality of your body. To be able to walk down the street, you know, with a nice tall posture, regardless of age, to be able to pick up your grandkids or pick up your own children and know that you're strong enough to be able to do that repeatedly is a really powerful position to be in for all of us, regardless of age. I've got some clients that are in their 70s, they've got grandkids, they train with me 3 times a week to make sure their bodies are able to handle the effects of picking up their grandkids and to be able to chase their grandkids around the park.
That youthful life, right? That's
totally, that youthful life.
Youth.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think there's you see a lot of it of elderly people, young people who don't get around overly freely, and I think that's really it doesn't need to be that way. With a little bit of work, it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't have to be heavy, it doesn't have to be sprints, but with a little bit of work, it can completely transform the way that you get around.
Yeah, and you mentioned before you build a program with your clients, and I dare say that they're all going to be a bit different depending on that client. Are you also looking at their intake and setting a meal type program or a food program with them? Is that part of that process with you?
One thing about the Certificate 4 in personal training is that we're not actually qualified to write a program, a dietary program. We're qualified to give dietary advice, but not necessarily qualified to write a program as such. But certainly give advice about their eating plan, about, this might be getting a bit technical, I'm not sure if the listeners know, but like macronutrient ratios. So talking about how much carbohydrate you should have, how much protein you should have, how much fat you should have in your diet. So we can certainly discuss that kind of thing. But to actually write a physical, structured, Monday to Sunday dietary program, I'm not qualified to do that.
Yeah, right.
I'm currently doing a certificate of nutrition, which is enhancing my knowledge, but still doesn't allow me. I think you've got to be a dietitian to be able to do something like that. So but certainly give them tips and hints on on a better diet.
You can touch on it without writing it, but you know
Totally.
the benefits of the food intake along with the healthy.
Exactly.
Exactly. The workout. Well, Ben, this has been fantastic, and I love your segue into Benofit and Benefit.
Yeah,
It's a great business name.
Thanks, Simon.
And if anyone's want to look you up or track you down to Benofit from Benofit,
Yep, that's right.
how won't they find you, mate?
So my email address is ben@benofitpt.com.au. My website is benofitpt.com.au.
Well, that's been fantastic, and if anyone is looking to get involved with you, you do have some openings, or could sort of guide them?
Yeah, certainly.
Right.
No, definitely. Give me a call. Send me an email. I'll endeavour to get back to you as soon as physically possible. And could make something happen for sure.
Well, with spring in the air, there's no better time.
Exactly.
It's not cold in the mornings. At
That's
5:30, right?
No, that's exactly. Yeah, it was beautiful this morning. The sun's certainly up earlier now, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. I really appreciate you coming on NavTalk.
Thank you very much for having me, Simon.
Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today for NavTalk. You can listen to other podcasts in the NavTalk series via YouTube or where you get your favourite podcasts, or simply search NavTalk. Be sure to follow Navwealth on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook or Twitter. And please, if there are any particular topics you would like us to cover for a future episode, let us know via our website. I'm Simon Prowse. Until we talk again.